So companies are pouring billions and billions of dollars into generative AI. We all see the headlines. But here's the big question. Is any of that investment actually paying off? Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful approach called decision intelligence and how it's finally turning all that AI hype into real, measurable impact for businesses. Let's start with this number because it really sets the stage, 80%. According to McKinsey, this is the core of what they call the Gen AI paradox. Think about it. Almost 8 out of every 10 companies have rolled out generative AI in some way. And yet, that exact same number, a staggering 80%, are saying it's made no material difference to their bottom line. So you've got this huge adoption, but almost no impact. What is going on here? And, this paradox couldn't be hitting at a worse time. CEOs are already dealing with a crazy level of complexity. As one chairman put it in an IBM study, the biggest feature of turbulent times is the increase in uncertainty. The pressure to make the right call and make it fast has literally never been higher. And that just makes AI's failure to deliver real value even more frustrating. So why this massive gap? Well, it turns out most companies are focusing on the easy stuff. They're deploying these broad, horizontal tools, like an enterprise-wide chatbot for everyone to use. And yeah, they might make individuals a little more productive, but the benefits are spread so thin that they just vanish when you look at the company's balance sheet. The real game-changing value, that comes from targeting specific, high-stakes business decisions. Okay, so this is where we need a totally new way of thinking. To really break out of this paradox, we have to move beyond just collecting data and looking at dashboards. We need to embrace a new discipline, and that is decision intelligence. Let's break down exactly what that means. Your traditional business intelligence, or BI, is basically a rear-view mirror. It's great at telling you what happened. It's that dashboard on your screen that tells you, yep, you're stuck in traffic. Decision intelligence, or DI, is completely different. It's the GPS. It doesn't just show you the problem. It uses predictive and prescriptive analytics to tell you why it happened. And this is the crucial part, what you should do next. It finds you a faster route. And let's be really clear here, this isn't just some new fancy name for analytics. It's a whole new discipline that blends data science, AI, and even decision theory. The goal isn't just to show you information, it's to actually engineer and recommend specific actions that make your decisions faster and, frankly, a whole lot better. So that all sounds great, right? But how do you actually make it happen, especially at a huge scale? Well, if decision intelligence is the what, then the catalyst that puts the rocket fuel in it is a technology you're probably hearing more and more about, Agentic AI. Agentic AI systems are not your typical passive tools just sitting there waiting for you to type in a prompt. Nope, these are proactive, goal-driven collaborators. They can reason through tricky situations, plan out complex, multi-step processes, and then act on their own to get something done. Think of them less like a calculator and more like a virtual teammate you can hand off entire projects to. So here's how these AI agents just completely supercharge decision intelligence. First, they bring dynamic reasoning so they can adapt on the fly as things change. They can also pull insights from unstructured data. Just imagine an agent that reads every single customer email and automatically flags a potential product issue before it blows up into a crisis. You can even have teams of specialized agents working together. And maybe most important of all, they provide the autonomy to go from just recommending a decision to actually executing the whole workflow. That is how you dramatically increase your decision velocity. And if you think this is all science fiction, think again. This shift is happening incredibly fast. Gartner is predicting that by 2027, that's just a couple of years away, half of all business decisions will be either augmented or fully automated by AI agents. This is a massive change in how businesses are going to operate. Okay, so let's move away from the theory and get into the really tangible stuff. What kind of results are the companies who are pioneering this already seeing? I'll tell you, the payoff is real, and frankly, it is staggering. Just take a look at this McKinsey case study. A major bank was really struggling with its old, clunky legacy systems. Instead of throwing huge teams of developers at the problem, they built what they called an agent factory. These AI agents, with just a handful of humans supervising, handled the entire modernization process. And the result? They cut the time and the labor costs by over 50%. Or how about this one? A market research firm that was just drowning in manual data checks. It was slow, expensive, and clients were still finding errors. So they deployed AI agents to gather, structure, and check the data, and they unlocked a potential productivity gain of over 60%. And it's not just for IT or data analysis. Another bank used agents to help their relationship managers draft these really complex credit risk memos. The agents would pull data from a dozen different places and draft huge sections of the report. This freed up the managers to focus on the big picture strategy, and it improved their credit turnaround time by 30%. I mean, this is the perfect example of boosting decision velocity right in the core of the business. So the proof is there. It's pretty hard to argue with. The question now becomes, how do you get your organization ready for this new agentic era? It's not going to happen by accident. It takes a clear playbook and a real mandate from leadership. Now, this journey doesn't have to be some terrifying all-or-nothing leap into the unknown. Gartner actually lays out a super practical, step-by-step framework for this. You don't start with full autonomy on day one. You start small. First, the AI simply supports a human's decision with some data. Then it graduates to making recommendations. Once you start to trust those, you move to an approval model, where the AI can act, but only with a human signing off. And then over time, as you build that trust and your governance gets better, you can slowly progress toward managed autonomy, where humans are really just reviewing the outcomes or handling the exceptions. So the action plan for any leader starts to become pretty clear. First, you've got to reimagine your workflows to be agent first, not just trying to bolt AI onto your old slow processes. You absolutely have to set up strong governance and cybersecurity guardrails right from the start. But the tech is only half of it. You also have to prepare your people, your workforce, for this new way of working. And crucially, you have to build trust. And that means being totally transparent, with things like decision logging, so you have a perfect auditable trail for every single autonomous choice the AI makes. Look, the time for just playing around with scattered AI experiments in small pilots is over. Agentic AI is moving fast from being just a cool technical capability to a core strategic imperative. The early adopters are already redesigning their entire businesses around it, and they're gaining massive speed and efficiency. So this really leaves us with one final, and I think pretty crucial question. Your competitors are building agent first. Are you?